Cool. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Is it working? Is the volume on? I think it is. All the buttons have been switched on. Hello, welcome to the SHAC. Rainy, horrible weather in Crowborough today. Well, horrible. Who says it's horrible? It's raining, you know. In some parts of the world, they give their eye teeth for a bit of rain right now. For example, in California. Oh dear. Shocking, shocking, isn't it? Good morning, Sue. Come on in, grab a seat, put your umbrellas by the door. Mine's there too. Hello, Heidi. Ach, grüß dich, Heidi. Lovely to have your company. Always lovely to see Heidi Hoopner. Come on in, Glynis and Elaine. Come on, sit down. It's horrible out there today. Well, I'm not going to say that anymore. It's not horrible, it's raining. It's good for the garden. Good for the garden. We always associate rain with horrible, don't we? But actually, you know what? That's rubbish, because it's good for lots of things. It's just when it's too much of it, it's not so good, eh? Everything in moderation, as they say. Hey, come on in. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's have a cup of tea. Stay in the warm today. Put socks on for the first time in months. Yeah, today's not flip-flop weather, is it? And today we're going to do snowflakes, which is even colder, and baubles. Hey, it's all right though. It's all right. It's all about techniques. Actually, it's not even about that. It's about hanging out together and staying safe, you know, because everything's going mad, isn't it? I spoke to my lad, Mark. He's in California, in San Francisco. I think I mentioned it yesterday. And yeah, I must be getting on his nerves. So I must stop calling. But I look at the fire map, and because I lived there, you know, when I see that Vacaville's on fire and, you know, and Santa Cruz Mountains, and I know these places because I lived there, and then you think, well, hang on a minute, if he's on the peninsula and it's burning there and burning there and burning there, and, you know, where's he going to go? Especially if they're lightning, dry lightning storms, you know, they can land anywhere, can't they? But he seems to think it's fine, so I've got to go with what he says. What do you do, eh? What do you do? Never stop worrying about them, that's a fact. Yeah, so, yes, you see, so there he is in San Francisco. There was a little bit of rain in Oakland, which is a good thing. That would be a godsend to the firefighters. But isn't it crazy, you know, in one part of the world, it's on fire and burning up like never before. And then this side of the world, don't you wish you could just push it that way a little bit, you know? What do you do? Heidi says it's very stormy. Bist du in Deutschland, Heidi? Are you in Germany? Stuart, sound good. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart's in the building with you today. So if you have any questions, if you need the downloads, just talk to Stuart. If you can't print them off, you know that we'll send them to you. It's never a problem. And even if you don't join in today, they're really useful to have. You'll see all the bauble shapes, and yeah, it's good to have. All good to have. But I tell you what, we went out on I don't know if I mentioned it. We went to Lewis on Saturday. It was the first time I've been in like a high street setting, you know. And I just really wanted to be in a normal kind of environment, and I felt it was safe enough. There was a lot of masks on, masks off, easy to park, which is usually impossible in Lewis. So that meant there's obviously not as many people around. And yeah, there was a lot of social distancing going, a lot of people stepping around, and the shops were like 4 at a time or 5 at a time, so it was mask on, mask off, wait outside. There was a lot of that going on, which was a bit weird and, you know, not pleasant. But do you know what? If that's what we have to do to stay safe, then that's what we have to do to stay safe. You know, we went into Bill's, which is a really nice like restaurant, breakfast place, and and they took our temperature at the door. And that's okay. And there was a lot of social distancing, and you know, it was the first time I've been out since March. And as weird as it was, and as different as it was, it is what it is, you know. And yeah, it was all right. You know, it was all right. These poor shops, there were so many shops empty, so many shops shut down. My heart bleeds for these business people, you know. If you've got a bricks and mortar high street shop, the fight is on. You know, at least we're an online business. Yeah. Good morning from a wet and windy South Lanarkshire. I bet it is. I bet it is. What's the time? 1 minute past 10. But one thing I will say, you know, about the rain, it's good for the garden, isn't it? Not so good for all the homeless people. There were a lot more homeless people in Lewes than I've ever seen before. And those poor people, you know what? Sitting huddled in the blooming doorways now. Anybody that says they chose to be there needs to go and sit in the doorway with them for a couple of days and then come back and say that, you know. It's all right on a sunny day. Even then it's not acceptable, is it? Let's be fair. Right, come on. We're lucky. We're lucky. We're in the warm. We're in the dry. We have a lot to be grateful for. May not feel like it sometimes, but you know what? Open your eyes and have a look out there. Just a little peep over the parapets, and then you'll realise actually it could be a lot worse. And today we're going to do... Morning chaps, thankfully in my chair again. Good, 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 Sue. Pleased to hear it. Come on in. We're going to do some shading, aren't we? You up for that? Volume's on. Stuart's in the building. I'm here. I've got my socks on. Feet are warm. Here we go. So let's have a look. I thought it would be really, really cool to learn how to do a little bit of shading. You know that 3D effect that makes things pop a little bit? So let's have a look. Are you up for this? Come on, let's have a quick sip of tea. No rush, is there? We're not going anywhere, hey? My fingers are a bit inky. I've been doing artwork for Friday. With those new mandala stamps. God, they're fabulous. Oh my God, they're brilliant. Well done, Tina. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's have a look what we got. Sorry about that. Right, now let's have a look. So this was our bauble. Did you rub out the pencil in the background? Yeah. So mine's quite jiggly, which is what I wanted. I wanted it to be not looking like it was computer generated. And then I did a couple more. I got carried away. So then I did the one without the outline. Do you see? So I inked up the baubles, but I left the outline in pencil. Sort of the jury was out because I wanted to create the illusion of roundness without actually spelling it out. Do you see the difference? It's interesting, isn't it? If you look at them like that, doesn't that one already look rounder than that one? I think so. But in order to make sure there wasn't a big hole here, I had to add a few more. See, I've added a few more baubles, snowflakes, around the outside to make the edge a little bit busier. So that's pretty cool. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I love this one. Oh, fuzzy. Sorry, what's that? What's going on? Right, let's have a look at this one up this way then. Let's have a look here. Right, so you can see here, I used the stars. I used the stars to decorate my... And then, this is what I thought we'd do today as well, if we get a chance. I thought, you know that feeling of the ones that disappear into the... Yeah? So there's quite a lot of little tricks I want to show you on this one. So that's something. If we don't get to it today, we'll certainly get started on it today. Right? I know why it's hazy. It's because there's so much whiteness going on. But I think we'll literally go in the order that I drew them, because that will we'll sort of build up our skills as we go on this. See, so first of all, we'll just do this one, and we'll see how we can make this look round. Then we'll take the one that hasn't got an outline, and we'll see how we can make that pop, right? I'm still thinking on that one. Right, so we've got our pencils, and are we ready to go? Yeah? What's the time? It's easy. It's lovely just hanging out, really, isn't it? Nice cup of tea, all nice and warm. Had a fire last night, log fire. Strange old world. Strange old world, isn't it? Right, so let's have a look. I reckon what I do want, though, is a bit of copy paper just on the side, so I can test what I'm doing to get my weight in or my eye in. Right, because so this is an HB pencil. Let's have a look what else we've got. Maybe I'll use something a bit softer. Let's see. Maybe I'll go, you can use whatever you've got. That one's obviously popular, 5B. Well, let's check out 5B then. Oh yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to decide where the light's coming from. When we do shading, we decide where the light's coming from. I'd argue that it's coming from the top, yeah? And possibly the logical place, because there's nothing here, right? It's sort of telling me that the light's coming from here. So this is going to be where the light's shining, yeah? I mean, don't get me wrong, the jury's out on this area. We could so easily go back in and add another, like, look, wouldn't that look good? Just in there like that, or off the edge a little bit. Give it that roundness. You see, we may go back and do that yet, you know, but let's just get started. We're doing so well. So the artwork that I'm seeing on Clarity worldwide is fabulous. I'm going to put my Dame Edna's on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come on then. That's better. And what we'll do is, are you poised? Let's add some shadow. So always to the bottom. And what we'll do a real light just around the edge. So this is where we do that. We get that. It's like we're levitating. We're almost not touching, right? We're going to do that side here. And we're just doing this side of the snowflake. Let's see what that looks like. Hey? Yeah, straight away you can see what I'm up to. See, and the thing about these soft pencils, I'm deliberately staying away at the moment. I'll come in a second. Let me just show you. Right. Let me come in a bit closer so you can see. But you can, even at that distance, you can see that that looks different to that already, doesn't it? So let me come in a bit close. Come in a little closer, baby. What do we think? Is that good enough? You see it now? I reckon, don't you? That'll do. Yeah. So come in like that, hey? That's good enough. And then we'll go in. God, it's difficult to see where the card is. I don't want to scribble on the card. See, now this side, let's just do these bits. We can always go in afterwards and do a bit more. If the light is coming in from there, then it's definitely going to be underneath here, isn't it? And then we can decide whether we want to add any elsewhere. So that bit there, in here, I'd say, definitely, eh? That there. Here we go. Light's coming from there, remember? So it's going to be quite dark in here, isn't it? Along there. There we go. Has it stopped raining? A bit blustery. I like it when I'm indoors and it's like this. There we go. So you can see how quickly, just by adding a little bit of shadow, we like doing this, don't we? I love this. I think this is so effective. There we go. Just lightly. I'm not pressing hard, you see. I'm like that. On a scale of not pressing hard at all, pressing a bit harder, pressing really hard. Look, I'm on this one. Okay? Much as you think I'm on a darker one, I'm not. I'm not at all. Not pressing hard at all. I will in a minute, but not yet. See? So where else we're going to go? Got shadow, 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 I reckon. You just got to think it through. There you go. I reckon there for sure. Let's get it in here, like that. There, I reckon, don't you? And you'll soon know if you got it wrong. If it looks weird, then you'll just have to erase it. You'll know. Now, come down like that, in here, I reckon on that side here, but then a little bit on this side, eh? It's going to be in here, isn't it? See it? That's it. Cool. So I've done that. That one there looks a little bit flat still, doesn't it? Isn't it interesting how I probably would get a little bit in there as well, because they're bending over, aren't they? Yeah. So you want to establish where the shadow is first. I reckon light coming from here. So I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. I'm gonna go there. There we are. All up this side. God, this is relaxing. This is it. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, so I want to get ahead of the curve, you know. Got a lot going on at the moment. And I thought, I want to get all that prep for the tellies sorted out today so I can put it to bed, as they say, and then I haven't got that hanging over me all week. And then I can concentrate on other things. And it works, that 5 o'clock in the morning touch. It does the job. I might not get out of bed before 5:30 or 6 o'clock, but I'm there. I'm awake. There. So you see how it's amazing, isn't it? I'm looking at the screen now. It really does look as if you could put your finger under there, doesn't it? And the more we do this, the trouble is though, it's delicate, isn't it, a snowflake? So we don't want to get too black, you see? We don't want to get too black, do we? Now I wonder, let me just humour me for a minute. I happen to have one of these to hand. Let me see, because I used a soft pencil. I wonder if, oh yeah, yeah, there you go, bingo. If you then take your blending pen and just gently go over the, look at that, smooths it out really nicely. And I bet you can, look. So then you can spread the shadow. So that, see, the further away the shadow falls, like blends out, the more dimension it, do you see what I'm getting at? The more dimensional it looks, look. Cool. Okay, excellent. Excellent. So that means that we can we can sweep that. Yeah, look. We can sweep the shading so that it looks smoother rather than gritty like a pencil. Let me just do a couple, then let's have a look close up. I think you can see what I'm doing here, can't you? Let's have a look close up and see if you can see the ones that I've blended versus the ones. Let it just join in. Yeah, so you see how here I've pulled it really away from the little legs. So it almost looks as if it's lying on top of the bauble. Well, I tell you when that's going to come in very, 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 very handy is in a minute when we start doing the edge. Love it when it works. Right. Now I wonder if you didn't have the blending pens, I bet you could use a Q-tip. You know, one of those things that you put in your ears. I wonder if that would work. Not wet, dry, 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 dry. She said, killing all sales. But, you know, I reckon. These have their place, and they certainly have their place in any crafter's stash, but, you know, not all of us doodling here are crafters. I know that, and that's cool with me. So I'm thinking, I'm just saying, thinking out loud, if I didn't have these things, I bet, what are they called? Buds, you know, cotton buds. There you are. Oh, Barbara. Cotton buds. I reckon that would work. You'd probably, with a cotton bud, you'd have to twizzle it to a kind of a point to get the nib-esque, if you know what I mean. But check out, this works really well, you know. Especially if you're using a soft pencil, because you can really move it around a little bit. Isn't that nice? There you go. Cool, stormy weather. There, doesn't that look cool? Very nice. Very nice. Are you relaxed? I'm very, very relaxed here. I think, yeah, you know, it sort of right sizes everything, doesn't it? When you stop and think about what's going on in California, and then think about the poor souls that are out in the rain that don't have homes, you know. And then the other layer in California is, of course, you've got thousands of displaced people now who are homeless because their homes have been burnt. All the people in Fairfield. I mean, we used to live up the road from there, you know, not far away in Benicia. It's not far at all. And so those people, they don't have anywhere to go. When your home's gone, where would you go now? Have you got your daughter near you, or your son, or have you got family or friends? But seriously, if your home was gone, burned, where would you go, you know? And here's the thing. So then you think, well, you could go to the church hall, couldn't you? Or you could go, you know, because they're making emergency shelters for people. Right, and then slap COVID on that lot. Right? Then put the pandemic that's forced us all indoors, slap that on. So now we've all been socially distancing and bubbling and isolating, and now we've all got to huddle up in church hall together. You know? It's unbelievable, actually, what is happening, you know? And so, if you bring it indoors now, just for this time here, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not like the messenger of doom and gloom here. I'm trying to show you that we're really lucky. We're really lucky, you know. Because if you're doodling along with me, my guess is you've got electric for a start, you've got power, and it's not raining on your head. So my guess is you've got a roof over your head, because otherwise the paper would all get wet. So you see what I'm getting at? we've got a lot to be grateful for, even though it feels like a total SHIT storm. Got a lot to be thankful for, you know, you and I. Come on, let's do some more shade then. And do you sometimes feel that this is a bit, sometimes I feel, God, the world's going mad, and here I am with my pens and doodling, and then I think, no, step away from the plate a moment here, you know. All we can do is stay safe and stay sane. I think we're going to have to add that to our SHAC, SHAC, SHAN. Or what would it be? SHAC, SHAC, SHAZ. Stay safe, happy and sane. Oh God, what is happening? And we're making Christmas cards. All right though, it's all right. Have a cup of tea. Come on, when in doubt. It's a British. It's got to be the all-time English solution. Good old cup of Yorkshire. Yorkshire's the brew for me. See, the other thing that would be lovely with this, she said, going back into the zone. The other thing that would be great with this would be glitter. Bit of bling, hey? Or one colour. Oh, wrong. See, that's the trouble. You can't see what's the card and what's the scrap. Silly sod. Right. But to be fair, this is more, for me, I don't know what it is for you, this is more like therapy. So like last night, I talked to Mark in California. I think I'll have to stop ringing him because I could feel he was getting irritated with his mother. But you know, I'm 61 years old, I've seen it, I've been around, and all I know is you've got to operate from the worst case scenario, you know, what's the worst thing that could happen? Right, well, work that out and then work your way back to normal, but be prepared, you know. But try telling that to a 28-year-old. And so yesterday evening, after I'd had the chat with Mark, he's fine, he's lovely, he's not stupid, he knows what he's doing, I suppose. But afterwards I thought, God, you know, when your head's like hornet's nest again. And so I went and did a jigsaw puzzle. I just sat with me little was jig thing that didn't look at the lid. There's absolutely no point in looking at the lid because the solution is not on the lid. The solution is one bit at a time. And I sat there for a couple of hours doing my was jigsaw thing. If you don't know what a was gidge is, it's jigsaw backwards. And it what's on the lid is what the people on the lid, or for example, the jigsaw is what the people on the lid are looking at, if you get what I mean. But the point is, I've always got a jigsaw on the go in the living room. Since lockdown, I've had a jigsaw going all the time. And I'm not going to frame it when it's finished. I'll break it up and put it back in the box again, you know. I don't do it to get the result. I do it to clear my head. And I do this to clear my head. It's a little bit more creative than doing a jigsaw, I guess. And I guess as well with a jigsaw, it's the same sort of destination, if you like. You do have a sense of accomplishment when you finish it, don't you? Yeah, then I leave it, take a couple of photographs, and then I break it all up again. Put it back in the box, start the next one. To be honest, I could break it up, start again. I could do the same one again. I don't even need loads of jigsaws. It just, the one with all the marrows and that one did my head in. There was way too much green. I couldn't cope with that one. I don't think I'd repeat that one. This one's nice. I like this one. Yeah. So it's not what we're doing together here, for me. It's like a breathing exercise almost, isn't it? Just... But I know that, like you, I get a right buzz off when... Oh, hang on. I don't get a buzz off doing that, though. Oh, well, actually, do you know what? Oh, work with what you got, Gray. Maybe I'll make it look like it really is coming off the... This is one of those ones that actually peels off, look. See, if you take the... This is interesting. When you do a shadow, and we tend to hug the line art, yeah? When we're doing a drop shadow, don't we? We hang on to the line art and we stay right tight. Now, purely by mistake, I've come away from the line art. But watch this optical illusion. Let me show you up tight, up close, and you'll see exactly what I'm getting at. When you come in here now, let it just focus. Right, see how here, because by mistake, I flicked away from the line art. See how it looks like it's off the bauble now? Do you see that? It actually looks now as if it's peeling off the bauble. Now, that, my friends, is exactly, say you had a leaf, keep staring at it and you'll get it. Say you had a leaf and you had it on a path and you wanted to throw a shadow on the path. It wouldn't be hugging the leaf if that snowflake is the leaf. Do you get what I mean? So what I'm saying is you draw the... It's really interesting. And the further away you get from the line art, the more the piece, the image, or whatever it is you're drawing a drop shadow on, lifts away from the surface. Try it. It's quite interesting, you know. So that's just by mistake. I just showing you. I'll how you can make something look as if it's actually lifting off completely. Yeah, I'll do the same on this one. It looks as if it's... See, as soon as you do that, it looks like it's... And this one. Watch this. I mean, now I'm getting a bit... I'm sure. But you'll get it. You watch. If I do this and that... I mean, this isn't necessarily what I want to do for this particular... Now it looks as if the... It looks like a decal. Like a really cheap bauble, and these have been stuck on with some cheap stuff, and now the baubles are coming off the bauble, the snowflakes are coming off the bauble. You have a look. But it's an interesting technique. Check it out. Have a look. You see? See how it looks like the snowflakes are peeling off the bauble? Isn't it weird? Hey? Yeah. Interesting. So if I'll take my blending tool or my Q-tip or whatever you call it, and let's just... When you join in the SHAC, what is it for you? Do you do it for the company? Do you do it just to learn different drawing techniques? Is that your main reason for being here? If that's what it is, that's great too. It's fine. Do you do it to clear your mind and chill, like mental yoga? Remember we used to call it, when we first started, we said this is like yoga for the mind. And that looked good. That's interesting, that bit there. It sure does look like it's come off, doesn't it? Right, so we've done that. Now let's do this bit, shall we? Let's do a little bit of shadow here. Right, light's coming from this side, remember? Let's just get a little bit of a... There we go. So if the light's coming from that side, then it's going to be a little bit darker in here, isn't it? I reckon. So we'll get some depth going in there. It will definitely be dark here too, because it is round, even if the... and it's covered, isn't it? So we'll get a little bit of shadow coming in there as well. You're getting really good at this. You are getting very good at this. When I look at your artwork, it gives me real, yeah, joy, actually. I think, oh, because I know how you get a real buzz off it, don't you? When you get it right, it's like, oh, wow, check this out. You know, I know. I'm no different. Right, let's put a little bit of shadow there now, and here. I'm gonna lean on, I just want to lean on something, excuse me a minute. Where's that? Here it is, I can see it, I just can't. All these layers of tracing paper. There you go. Just want to, because I don't want to smudge all my loveliness that I've just done. That's better. Lean on a bit of copy paper, lean on anything you like. I just happen to lean on my... See, I lean on this because if I wanted to, I can isolate with my Groovy Guard. Right now, let's have a look. Because when you look at these, in real life, they're stripy, aren't they? They're like serrated, if you know what I mean. They've got lines on them. They're not... Sometimes they're smooth. Heidi will know what I mean from the German ones. They got, and sometimes they're like that, aren't they? They've got scallops a lot around. The really old ones, they've got actually scallops here. Could do that as well, but I'm going to stick to the plan here. Right. So, for example, if I bring these stripes up, they get a bit bigger where the light's coming. Remember? But then it's going to get tighter again because it's going back round the out. There you go. Let's have a look. Pretty cool grey. Hey? What pencil am I using here? 5B. 5B. B being black. That's quite a dark one, isn't it? Yeah. Nice, eh? Then we come round here. If it's too dark, you can always go back to your HB. Let's have a look. And I mean, we're using, yeah, see? You can always go in, HB is going to be harder. It's just a harder graphite. So, in other words, when you go round with if I want to make lines with my HB pencil, they won't be so, the pencil's harder, it's not as soft. So I can get a much more defined line. You see? Yeah, that's all it is. You get control of it. You get control, don't you? I reckon. Nice. I like. What are we doing up here then? Have a look. Yeah, I'm using a HB now. Use what you've got. You use what you've got. There you go. That's cool. Now, let's have a look. How are we going to get this bauble shape? I'm going to go with a softer one, and I'm definitely going to use my Q-tip or my blending pen for this job. So what I want to do now is get the side. So what I'm going to use is the side of my pencil. right? Just use the side of your pencil, because that's what I want, is that real soft. See? And I'm going to use this finger just to stop it. It just gives me a bit of control. This one, see? I use this one to draw out the path. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm only 2 hours ahead of you on this. Remember, I got up early. Oh, here we go. There are certainly no experts in this building, but I've got a rough idea how to shade things. Let's just put a little bit of shadow around here. Light's coming from there, remember? So it's definitely going to be quite shady around this side, isn't it? Let's just get a little bit of shadow in. We'll blend it in a minute. Don't want to make it too dark though, do we? Definitely not. What's the time? I have got a stonking headache. Do you think it's the weather, the change in weather patterns? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we get it, don't we? Nice. Around the bottom here, because remember we're trying to make it round. So we're going to put a little bit of shadow on the bauble itself, and then we'll put some maybe outside the bauble as well, just to give it that. There we go. Definitely around here, eh? I reckon. It's certainly looking, didn't it? Do you remember when we did the water droplets when we were under the sea? That was nice. I enjoyed that. That was a real, that looked dimensional. That was a real coup, wasn't it? And I loved watching. Oh, on Facebook, I was watching, and I was observing from a distance, and I was watching. The one of you that pops into my mind is Joy Steels, and I can remember. I watched the first ones that she loaded onto Clarity Worldwide, and then she said, "Oh, I'm not too happy with these." And then a couple of days later, she came back again. And then a couple of days later, she came back again. And by the third time, I could feel, I know Joy really well, and I could feel her beaming. You know, I just knew she'd nailed it. It was great. And the droplets were just, you felt you could just roll them off the page. You remember when we did it? And it looked like you could just roll them off the page. And I know that there were lots of Joys out there, just like Joy. You know, there was that moment of you cracked it. You know, and it's like I said before, one of the best things to me about the SHAC is I've watched a kind of a gradual transition, that's the word, from oh, I'll never be able to do this, from some deep-seated self-deprecating place, right, to now you're still honest, you're not happy clappy, you still say struggling with this, but then in the next sentence you qualify it. You don't just say struggling with this, can't do it, blah 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 blah. None of that anymore. You say struggling with this, but I will persevere. But I think I'm going to come back to this. But I think I will. Practice makes perfect. And you don't give up. It's like, yeah, I'm going to nail this one. So there's that optimism that wasn't there in the beginning with a lot of you. And now it is, big time. Look, isn't this cool? See how dark that... I like this a lot. See now, let's have a look. If I take my blending tool, let's see. If I come in here. Oh yeah. Okay. Love it. And you know what? The best part of this is all we've used is a pencil or two. Hey? Isn't that brilliant? And whilst you think, well, yeah, but you did give us the templates. Like, well, yeah, I couldn't have done it without templates either. It's not like I drew it and then gave you the template. I had to draw the template before I could draw it too. So, let's have a look. This is really, really cool. Just spread this out a little bit so it's a bit softer coming in towards the middle. See, and then when it gets softer towards the middle, see how it starts to look like a ball? And it's dark around the edge, isn't it? To the point where you can almost, you know, you'll almost absorb the line art into the pencil work. You could make it that dark, couldn't you? If you wanted to. Nice. Really nice. And you could even dust that one down a bit so it doesn't jump out. Because it wouldn't be that bright white, would it? It would dust down too. So let's dust that down a little bit. Yeah, that makes sense. See, this would be a little bit dusty too, wouldn't it? This bit here. It wouldn't pop out white, that would be too weird. There. It's cool. Let's use a finger, shall we? There you go. And let's just spread that finger, that greyness, out beyond. Just like that. Let's just take that, see? And let's spread that out beyond. Because you'll never be able to get, you will never, not in a month of Sundays, will you get a blend as graduated and as subtle. Now you may think there's nothing here where we're using our finger. Oh, I tell you what, if you're not sure, take your rubber and rub through there and you'll see how grey that is. See, your finger is a great blending tool. It's probably the best blending tool you've got. If you put makeup, if you're a makeup person, right, I use, obviously you use brushes, but if you listen to the experts, they'll always be using their fingers when they're putting makeup on. Just to smooth it out, to get it right, you know? So that you can almost not see it's there. That's apparently, that's the goal. Doesn't that look really, really cool? Hey? So, if we're going with that in mind then, right, I'm going to add a little bit more grey on this side of the bauble, on the bauble side. Just add a little bit more in there again. Just along this edge, here. You cool with this? Let's have a look. Right, now push it out beyond the bauble. Bring it out. Believe you me, it's working. It's really working. I wonder if this would work. If I put a little bit of the grey down here, like a little palette, and then took my finger and just, I wonder if that would give me, yes it does. See if I want a bit more depth. Core. Right, a bit more grey. You see, we're working with 5B. I'm pushing the boat out now in my little snazzy tin. Right, I'm going for 8B because this has got to be really, really soft then. I wonder if I bring a bit of soft black on this side now. Bearing in mind the light's coming from here, remember? Now I wonder if I can blend this out with my finger effectively. Should we try? This is a very chill session, isn't it? Needs to be at the moment, that's what I think. Yeah, okay. So now, so this bauble is starting to get depth behind it, you see. Let's see if I take my, does this smooth it a bit more? As soon as I smooth it, look at that. As soon as I use the blending tool, see how it smooths it out? Interesting, isn't it? I guess what it does is, the blending tool, it pushes the graphite into the texture, because the card's got texture, hasn't it? It's got a purchase, or it's got a surface, a rough surface. And what this super fine tool or Q-tip will do is it will push it into the I reckon. What do you think? Looks good, doesn't it? Looks really good around here. This is very light up here. But you know, it would be dark. It would have depth to it here. I'm just using my finger. Yeah. See? So I'm using what I've got on my finger to just run through that area there. Because I could not, well, I suppose I could. But look how, I don't know if you can see this. If I come round here with my finger, I can pick it up here and drop it off there, look. If I wanted to demonstrate how, let me see if I show you on here. You can see it immediately, look. You can see what I've just transferred with my finger, and you get a really, really lovely soft, don't you? See? So now we've got it dark round there because of, remember the light's hitting, see the light's hitting from here, so the depth is here. That makes total sense. But then I pick that up with my finger and then I transfer it to the top. And don't worry if you go over the edge, that's fine. And you see what you could do once you've done this, this is, right, round we go, getting a right old shadow going now. See? This is where those soft blacks come in really, really. This is soft black. It really is. If you haven't got, look, I know it's not Selly Telly and I'm not doing this, but this is the tin you want. We do sell them, you see, because it's the soft blacks that you can blend so beautifully with your fingers. An HB, everybody can use an HB. Let's have a look. But if you put the HB down, it won't, well, it's gonna, I add a load of graphite on my finger, but if I use HB, then I use a clean finger, see, it won't move. Do you understand? It won't move like a black. And if I take 5B, where's that real soft one? Extreme now, 8B, right? If I put 8B down, like that, same as I did with the other. Let me take a clean finger again. Oh, that's a clean one. See how it, look at these sides. See how it's moving? And that's, whereas the HB, get a clean finger. You can still see where the scribbles are. You can't get rid of the scribbles. And this one now, because I've loaded up my finger, look. It's all right though. Look, jobs are good. And now, before we call it a day for today, see what you want to do now is that grey there? Yeah. You build up this side like this. You could build that up as well, look, on this side. Don't worry about the outside, we can clean that up afterwards. That's what rubbers are for. That's what erasers are for, right? So you get that lovely shade round and round the garden like a teddy bear. Alrighty. And then when you see what we're doing here, we're leaving a little bit of a white area there. Right, now let's have a think. If I take my eraser, lights come in here, yeah? You could leave a little bit of a shadow around there if you want to. But watch, if I come in here, I can lift off that with my red rubber, And the thing about what I'm doing here is, if you're not sure about it, you can go again and again. We just keep repeating what we're doing. See, what I'm doing is I'm just lifting out now, round here. I'll take my rub, take that. See how much darker it is now, but how smooth it is. And then what we want to do, let's see, because if it's a bauble, we're assuming it's going to be glass of some description. So we want to put like a mark in here. I'm not going to pencil it in, I'm going to rub it in. I'm going to just lift the colour out. So what it would be though, it would be, if that's a bauble, let's have a look. It's going to be like a triangle, isn't it? It's going to be like that, or it's going to be like that, like the light hitting it. You can either make a line like that, and then little bits coming off it. It could be one of those. It could be a triangle with a bit like that. Do you know what I'm getting at? So it's what you want it to be. I reckon, right, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to do a kind of a triangle like that, and then do a little bit there and there, and that will look like the light's hitting it. Do you get what I mean? If I don't like it, I just take my finger and fill it in again, and I may well do that. I can feel it coming on. Now where's my sharpener? So I want to get in now, do this right, and you don't want to sort of smear it. So let's have a look. It's going to be, I reckon, about there. About there. Right, let's have a look. Do it lightly to start with. You'll soon know if it's going to be, if it's right. You see what I mean? Let's get that light in. You're just reintroducing it really, aren't you? Slowly does it. See how subtle it is? That's exactly what we're after. So we introduce the shading with our finger, with a pencil, and then we can, look, you can add a little bit of reflection from a light bulb. Somewhere there's a light, isn't it? Hitting there. Isn't that cool? And you know, you could do this there. You see what I'm getting at? And this is easily done. Also, what we're doing here with it's easily done with polychromos as well. This is, you could do this, add it, and then lift it off again with a really light layer of polychromo, like one of those lovely greys. Let's have a look. I might even put a bit of light in there, a bit of light up there. Yeah, you get it, don't you, what I'm doing here? See? And then the more you rub, the lighter it will get. And then you can decide, if you don't like what you've done, then you know what? You take your finger, add a bit of graphite, go back over it with your soft black, and then, but what we're doing here now is just adding a sweep of light to our bauble. There you are. See? Sweep of light, strategically placed. Cool, eh? And you just got to know when to stop as well, Gray. There. The only thing that I think I need to do is put a little bit more, as if it was this. Yeah, that's better. Now we're rocking. This was a little bit too open here, isn't it? There. I like. You like? There you go. There you go. Very effective. So, and it's 5 to 11. Timing is everything. So that's quite a good little trick, isn't it? Time to wash our hands. And we didn't get to the bauble where you go in. You know, that one with the star. So that's great, because that means that we can do that tomorrow. That'll be really, that's another real optical illusion, where this is clearly on the outside of the bauble, and what we're going to do is dive into the bauble and make that convex thing. inside, like a star within the bauble. That would be lovely to do as well. And we're learning tricks here. These are tricks. Pencils are different depths of blackness. Eraser, you know, it's not a massive stash, is it? It's not a massive stash. A tin of pencils and a rubber. You know, interesting what you can do with your fingers. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Stuart, thank you very much. Don't forget to ask Stuart for the downloads if you haven't got the baubles, because tomorrow we're going to be using this one, that one. Okay, so get that one printed off, and we'll use this one, this bauble too. But I want to show you how to modify it. That would be fun, right? How to change. You don't have to use it as it is. It just gives you the rough idea, and then we can modify it according to our own taste. So that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I shall see you tomorrow morning. What's tomorrow? Wednesday already. Wednesday already. What is going on? Be safe. Stay in the dry. Enjoy your doodling. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thanks a lot, Stuart. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.